so I'm kind of excited about it. So
Awesome. And Hannah, what classes are you going to be taking?
Let's see. So it could still change because
you want to take a class with me.
Yeah, Kate she's got me like halfway convinced to change my schedule. But I got to take leg reg, which is one of our legislation and regulation, which is one of the required classes. I'm taking BA Corps, Business Associations and Corporations, not because I have any interest.
You are a
in...
capitalist.
You're required, aren't you?
No, I'm not required, but I do feel I have very little understanding, and it's very critical to, some of the things I would like to do with the law.
Do you guys have to take any sort of business course at all?
No. But
Okay.
A lot of people take BA Corps because it is, I think a lot of the stuff is on the bar anyway.
At St. Thomas, we're required to take business associations. Yeah.
Makes sense. I'm also taking, so I have 2 year-long courses that are continuing. So the insurance clinic and then the Journal of Law, Science, and Technology. And then I am taking international environmental law and a seminar on energy and utility law, which I'm really excited for.
So, and I guess I'm not understanding this. It's coming from a part-time student, so it sounds like you're taking a lot of classes.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Are you taking? How many credits are you taking?
That is like it's 14, which is that's
Okay.
the amount
But
you
plus
need
journal
to
and-
graduate.
So, like, is
With
that
journal is
so?
14,
Are these
yeah.
classes that you're taking all smaller load requirements?
No, are you
So
kidding?
you're just taking 6 classes of.
Oh, I thought it was 5.
I wasn't keeping count, but it
I think
sounded like you kept going. So.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh man. No. I mean, I spent more time on credits. In my experience, don't have much relation to how much work the class actually is.
Like
Especially,
legal writing being 1 credit.
Yes.
But it takes up. Like,
But it takes up like half of your time.
Yeah. Same with journal. Like that, it's 1 credit, and it's
totally not worth that time and crying in tears.
yeah, huge time commitment. And then clinic, I ended up doing a lot. Investing a lot of time in clinic, and that was it was a 3-credit class, just like my other 3-credit courses, but it was disproportionately more work. So, yeah, it's. I mean,
So you are a masochist.
Yeah. I'm getting like I'm tired of it at this point. Honestly, I'm like send me to like a tropical island.
Is that why your appendix ruptured?
We didn't even mention that
Oh,
yet.
gosh.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about how your little crisis that happened over
man.
the
Do
midterm
I have to?
the finals last semester?
Okay, so I'll give the short version, which actually starts. I keep forgetting to tell this part of the story, but it's actually the most interesting part, I think. So the day that I found out I need to get my appendix out, so I took my first final on Thursday. The following day, Friday, I'm studying for the rest of my finals. I'm at the co-op grocery store in my neighborhood, just studying away, and this guy comes in, and he's being pretty
Wait,
weird.
you were studying at the groceries?
They've got like a cafe area.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
And
Studying at a grocery store. Got it. Go on.
Like their
they
snacks.
they have everything I need. Yeah.
Damn.
they're really nice there, except for this guy who came in, and then he ended up coming at me with a knife.
Oh.
And yeah, so I like dodged that, and I tried to get back to studying there, but was a little, shaken.
Just settle down after nearly being stabbed.
Wait.
Yeah.
So he came charging at you with a knife
Yeah.
and like swung at you?
Is this a made up story?
No, he for a while sat muttering at me, and
Well, look at
he
you.
like sat at the when you're sitting at a 2-person table, and then there's another 2-person table next to that one. He sat like facing me at the other table, and was like muttering to himself, and then he came over and was like talking to me. It was a very like disjointed, very kind of schizophrenic style of speech.
Right.
It's so weird because
And-
Anthony always talks about stabbing you, but he never really goes through with
Right.
it. So
Anthony?
Yeah.
In disguise.
And I noticed at one point that he had a back pocket full of like kitchen knives.
Oh.
And at that point, and
That's comfortable to sit on.
Yeah, and some of the stuff he was saying, I was hearing like, "Oh, I'm the best, 4th best with knives in the world." Something about being a Navy SEAL, or
So
I don't know.
did you
Long
provoke
story
him by
short.
saying that, like, why aren't you the first?
No, I tried to ignore him, and I think that ended up. I put my headphones back in, and I think that like it's kind of aggravated him, and so that was. I mean, but I don't know. That's just kind of an aside
So
because
were, like,
I
the
went
cops
to it.
called? I mean, like, that's what the whole
They
So the
did.
guy just-
I think the grocery store did. I don't know. He left after I ran away and started yelling for help. He kind of slinked out.
We'd like to thank those who serve and protect our grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did any you weren't gonna file a claim for assault or anything like that?
No, he's definitely has mental health issues, and if he gets any sort of involvement, I would hope it would be from those sorts of professionals. Yeah, but anyway, I went to a different coffee shop. I kept studying. Then I went to the gym, and after the gym, I was feeling kind of nauseated, and I was like, man, I worked out so hard. I'm such a beast. Feel like I need to throw up, and it just didn't go away. And then I was throwing up all night, and it was terrible. And I went to the hospital in the morning, and I got my appendix out that night. And
So had it ruptured?
It had not ruptured, thankfully. So yeah,
because isn't it like you have like a half hour or so after it ruptures, like when it starts spreading toxins to your body?
Yeah, it gets really bad if that's the
Yeah.
case. So I was able to do it laparoscopically, which is lucky. It's less invasive, but still surgery.
And it leaves you with little belly buttons, right?
Well, yeah, it'll scar over eventually. And yeah, they gave me 2 extra days, and I took the remaining 2 finals in a marathon session on the Friday before Christmas, which was a whole barrel of fun. Yeah. Anyway, Mitch, what classes are you taking? We still need to hear what classes. Well, maybe we should do Kate first. Kate, what classes are you taking? Which organs did you lose? Yeah.
I brought all of my organs back from Germany with me.
Congratulations.
So, congratulations to me. Yeah.
That's an accomplishment in my book.
I'll be in international law with Abby, actually.
Ooh.
Cheater.
Oh.
Hey!
I guess you didn't take international.
No, I
German. You
took leg
EU
last year,
law. Yeah.
And then I'm
So you're
in...
gonna let her copy off of you and stuff like that, right?
I don't know that she'd want to, because I might have a bit of a rough re-entry into U.S. law school and the whole prepare ahead of time thing. We'll see. And then I'm also in an advanced admin law. I'm in reproductive rights with JTY. I'm in a bioethics and genetics law class. And then I'm missing one, and I can't remember what it is, and I feel... Oh, no, I'm in criminal procedure. And then there's also one more that I can picture it on my schedule, but I cannot think of what it is.
Wait, you're not taking the energy law seminar? The
No.
energy and utility law? Okay.
I took energy law in Germany.
Right. I think we talked about that, the seminar, though. It's like a...
Oh, yeah, and I
It's
said I'd
close.
look into it, and then I didn't do it.
No. Well, let's see who's taking classes with who, then.
Oh, Hannah's in this class?
Out.
It's full, by the way.
Oh, you tried.
It's an exclusive class, and Hannah's in it.
Yeah. There's a wait list. I looked. There's a person on the wait list.
It's me.
What about you, Mitch?
So I'm a part-time or reduced-time student, and so I'm taking a writing class, one of those required writing classes.
Is that a continuation from the fall semester?
Yeah, kind
Okay.
of.
Yeah, kind of. He failed the
yeah.
fall semester.
Yeah,
He
I
has
failed
to
it last
retake
semester, so I have to retake it. And then I have to take I'm trying to get out of this business basics course. So we have to take this business basics course, and then we also have to take the BA class as well.
Oh, you
and I'm-
take
Is it,
two?
is
And
it
I'm
because
really
you are
trying
already an expert in it?
Well, I already have an MBA, and
So you are a
I,
So you're basic.
and have about 10 years of business experience and an undergrad in business, and
Don't you
so
want the
I was
easy
like,
A?
I don't think this. Well, it's I don't think it's a graded course.
Oh, it's a
either.
pass-fail.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I'm like, I really don't want to have to take this because both, I'd have to pay for it for one thing, and then second, I have to so with my full-time job that I have, I have to take PTO for some of it, and so I'd rather not take PTO for a class that I probably I'm not gonna get much benefit out of. So, but then I'm really excited for criminal law. Because I'm taking it with Mark Osler, who's one of the leading experts in the United States on sentencing, and he leads the federal commutations clinic at St. Thomas. So whenever you hear of whenever a president commutes a sentence or or when Trump does one of his stupid pardons for one of his political friends, like the first person they contact is Professor Osler. So
Wow.
it's pretty cool to have him. So
What?
if you like,
Wait,
look,
could
if
you give me his number, please?
Well,
so if you look
yeah.
up anything, so he's always on like CNN and MSNBC
Oh.
and all of that. And he was also, you guys will love this one. He also went to school with and was in the graduating class with Kavanaugh.
Oh.
And you remember when Kavanaugh
Was he at the party or?
what?
Yes,
missed
is
the
he a
party.
big
He wasn't
boofer
at the
then?
party
Party.
apparently, but he's one of two of the students from the graduating class who rescinded their like a letter of approval for him. So he was only like one of two people from
Oh.
that class because he had like 100 classmates who wrote a letter of approval or whatever they call it, and he was like one of only two people that actually took back his.
Oh, good for him.
And I think my
recommendation for him.
criminal law professor created a definition in the statutes for bong water. So I think we're kind of, for Minnesota, yeah. So I think
Nice.
we're kind of on the same level.
Nice. So can you define bong
So
water for us?
it was the bong water. Like if it's less than, or if it's more than 4 ounces, it's considered like you would be considered having drug paraphernalia or
What?
something like that.
Just for having bong water?
Yeah.
You gotta carry it around in a little baggie.
So if you had like a 20-ounce like Sprite bottle of used bong water,
Yeah.
you are-
Hypothetically in Hannah's
Well, he
pantry.
told so he told us the story
Yeah,
because
this is hypothetical, right? All hypothetical.
he told us the story about it. He was just like, he got called in. He was doing some legislative work for Minnesota, and they're like, "Hey, how much do you think someone uses for bong water?" And he's like, "I don't know, 4 ounces." Not because he knew of any experience. He's like, "I don't know, like 4 ounces." And he's like, "Shit, I should put more water or something in there because that's what people normally use." So
it's
that's
gonna be some dirty water.
yeah. So that's what's written in the statutes now for Minnesota stuff. But hey, being in Kavanaugh's class and stuff, that's
It's
kind of cool too.
Yeah.
No, it's not. How is that cool?
Infamous, famous, whatever.
And so Kate, first,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on cold calls or the Socratic method in general?
In general, I think it's just part of the territory. I don't love it. I've had a fair few that have not gone very well, but it's just kind of the experience, I think. I would probably rather not have them, but there's, if you're not stressed a little bit, then you're not quite retaining the information, you're not learning as much. I
Right.
get
Was that prevalent in Germany?
So the first couple of days, the professors would say, "Oh, I do the Socratic method, I cold call," and all the American students are going, "Oh, I did not do the reading, this is going to go poorly." But the level of the cold call is not, recite all the case facts and, give me the statute in detail. It's much more, how do you think that this would go if it went to a higher court? Or more interactive kind of way, and it's less of a stressed, you're on the spot and you're
Not
sweating.
so much memorization, but
Right.
interpreting.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we are gonna cold call you here. We have the cup of shame right in front of you. As you can see, it says
Shame.
cup of shame on it. I think the artist is Hannah, right? And so,
Don't ever call me that.
what?
So don't ever call me that.
An artist?
Yeah.
Artiste?
Yeah, there's an E at the end.
And so we'll ask you a judicial trivia question. If you get it wrong, you'll have to pull out of the cup of shame.
Well, Hannah knows the level of my con law capabilities, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, that's just unfair if you're going to go with con law questions.
So, well, this one isn't.
And she's a full-time too, so keep in mind, you got to ask her
Yeah.
tougher questions.
Oh, great, yeah.
Oh, so this one will be easy, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Which Federal Circuit Court of Appeals does Minnesota reside in?
We're in the 8th Circuit.
See, very
Yay.
good.
Nailed it! Got one thing right.
There you go.
Unshame. Or no shame.
Please
no
remove
shame.
some of my shame.
You may take off one shame for that.
Oh, it's that kind of podcast.
This is a question that maybe hopefully you haven't heard this one yet, because I usually ask all the U of M students this one. But Which famous Supreme Court case made interracial marriage legal throughout all of the United States?
It's Loving v. Virginia, I think.
What? How did you know that?
How do you not know that?
Good point.
Did we ever?
We never discussed this in con law. No, this
Okay,
is just
thank
like,
you. You just know
That's
it.
just
General
common knowledge.
Smart.
Just
Okay.
That's like
Yeah.
fifth grade civics.
Also, I'm just going to say